welcome back to Let's Play Star Ocean 2. Last time we defeated the boss here. I was going to say the final boss, but not really, you know. I guess the final boss of the area. This is the Field of Intelligence, and we defeated the boss. Wasn't nearly as hard as I was trying to make it out to be, and I haven't had any trouble with it on any of the attempts I've had, and I've tried this boss about 6 times now. So, I don't know. Maybe I'm full of crap. Something seems... what? Now, once they enter into here, we get either a flashback or a unique scene depending on which path we're on. In Claude's case, he sees back to his father's room at the Planetary Federation headquarters. It's an interesting theme that they play during this. Some kind of war they're in again. And yep, there's your proof. This is the past that he's seeing. Why is Claude here? You don't even come home. After a year in space, he finally came home. You wanted to see your dad, but he's got to work. At this point, Claude was very much wanting to follow in his father's footsteps. Some of the dialogue goes by itself, some of it doesn't. It's always weird when they combine scenes with different types of dialogue like that. Gotta finish my work. Someone's a workaholic. Now, I don't think they ever mention who his mother is, if it's a character that we knew from the first Star Ocean, or someone we don't know. I think we get to see his mom in a flashback at some point. But at this point, no, we just see a liar, liar, pants on fire. Joy. And that's what we see on Claude's path. What was that? Did you see something? I didn't know anything. It's the same with me. But what exactly did she see? Give me a moment. And this is what happens on Reyna's path. We see a completely different scene from her past. It seems to be that she identifies with this place. Shingo Forest, if you've forgotten. What's wrong? Teeny weeny. You're her mother. How do you not know the name of her dog? That's kind of weird. It's also a very strange name for a dog. It's not really a nice thing to say, but I can see struggling trying to find the right words. I won't cry anymore. Okay. Yeah, this is going to happen in each of these fields. We're going to get a different cutscene depending on the path. It's one of the bigger reasons why I'm continuing to run both paths, because at this point, there, other than the private actions, there's not a whole lot more that changes from path to path. I didn't know anything. It's the same with me. As you can see, they just reversed a little bit of the dialogue here. And we get the Jewel of Intelligence. We're going to get a jewel after each of the dungeons, so. Come on, let's go to the next field. I will meet you out at the next field then. Okay, we're back, and if you'll take a look at where we are, we're right around the giveaway area. Giveaway is actually right over there, and that's the island with the secret shop. If we land on this continent, we can come in here. Now, this I wouldn't call one of the more difficult, but it's one of the longer of these little field dungeon things. So in this case, I'm going to take Reyna's party through here on Reyna's path. This one consists of Dias, Ashton, Pressus, and Reyna. It is by no means the best party for this particular area. You actually want a lot of abilities that hit multiple enemies to go through here efficiently, and Dias is very much a single targeting kind of guy. And Ashton right now isn't doing a whole lot more. Your best party would include Claude and Chisato, ideally. You'll want to use abilities like Ripper Blast, and I don't think she has it yet on this path, but 10,000 volts or Burning Cards would work to a lesser degree as well. But yeah, other than that, we're just going to continue on with this path. This is a somewhat interesting dungeon in terms of how it works out, and there's a few interesting things to note while we're here. On the other path, I already ran through here. It's funny how Reyna can still take enemies even on disc 2. It's because of her fast normal attack. Dead Triangle. We will be getting some interesting abilities as we continue to head through here. Let's just double check our skill points. You're going to gain a lot of levels in here, so just make sure that you aren't running too high, because if you have 999 skill points, you can't gain any more and you'll basically waste a level up. So you don't want that to happen. As far as specialty goes, did you learn something? No, it was you? Dead Triangle. I don't even... Yeah, that doesn't work very well. I think it's like a single hit. It's not very good. For you, we've got Bang Bang Attack. I learned that off screen. Oh, we have Parabola Beam. Actually, we already used that one. What am I talking about? Mole is probably slightly better. It doesn't really matter right now. None of her abilities are particularly good here. Off screen, when I was doing one of Reyna's paths to catch up to Claude's path, I learned Fairy Heal, which is basically all around better than Cure Light, so we never need to use that anymore. And we will learn an all-targeting equivalent if you're interested in that. That's pretty much all there is for that. As far as skills go for these guys, it's pretty much exactly how I've been doing the other party. Get a bunch of points and invest them into the useful things that give me stats or MP or HP or that kind of thing. I don't think I've done much else on this path that's particularly interesting. Do note, as you progress through here, I'm going to be investing points in below the belt. Since you gain a whole bunch of levels, you'll probably gain like 6 or 7 levels on your way through here, and that's without anything special going on. We could up effort to gain more levels, but I'm going to wait to do that till a little bit later. We're going to max out below the belt first, then we're going to work on effort. Okay, enough of this. Let's go this way. This area is somewhat easy to get lost in. It's not too bad. I just ran into a normal battle right before I was supposed to get a timed or event battle, aren't I? Yes. Run away! Fine, we'll join the party.
That's all.
We got a Bloody Helm. Bloody Helms are somewhat interesting. We'll talk about them a little more when we get the armor equivalent. Yeah, the game's kind of weird that way. the guy will go to attack you. Now, if he gets to this thing here, if one of them gets there, they'll blow something up and you won't be able to get some treasure chests or something like that. It should never happen, so I wouldn't really worry about it. But I usually just place Reyna there as a guard just in case, so they'll attack her instead of going for the thing. That's the thing on that we saw, the little button. It just blows some stuff up, and then we won't be able to get these treasure chests over here.
I won't lose.
Many of the enemies around here are exactly the same, and we just fight them over and over again, and they really aren't super difficult. They don't have a lot of HP. They do die really quickly to all or like multi-targeting attacks. Bang Bang Attack is definitely not that. Gale Stab is definitely not that. Unfortunately, I don't have any really good abilities at this point in the game to give to pretty much any of the characters on this path. And here we get an Assault Bomb that I'll never use, and a Melting Lotion. I will talk about the lotions post-game. There's a number of them. They have a specific purpose. I'll go into that when it actually matters, and it doesn't matter until the final 3 bosses, super bosses. But yeah, we don't have to do anything at this point. We could actually control someone else if we wanted to work on a specific skill, but like I said, I don't have any specific skills worthy of working on at this point, at least not in my opinion. Hurricane Slash is probably the best of the bunch right now. It actually hits multiple times. I'd like to get... Have we fought these guys before? It doesn't matter. They're all the same at this point. I don't think any of the enemies around here can inflict paralysis or stone, or at least I haven't noticed any. But the encounters do tend to be relatively common in here. That's why that, combined with it being a long area, you tend to gain quite a few levels. Jean's armor will be female only. Let's see here. It is drastically worse than anything else we have, so meh. If you haven't done item creation, I'm sure it's fine, but we easily have the access to do item creation by now and create much better than that.
They seem tough.
I must try harder.
I think it's these guys that drop the item that I'm looking for. But they're not all that difficult.
That's all. It's absurd.
Okay.
We learned Anti. This is kind of like the shell ability in this game. Let's take a quick look at that. So yeah, it surrounds all friends and they become more resistant to spells. So it targets everyone, so that's good. We could use that in a boss fight, maybe. Maybe. Probably not. Alright, I'll probably cut out most of the rest of the battles, I think, after this one, because there's not really anything else interesting to see. It's just me sitting here on Reyna, so I don't have to do anything because I'm lazy. Oh, they do 30 damage to me. I'm so scared. These guys don't seem to work very well together. Oh well, no more battles. We'll just be either cutting them out or fast-forwarding through them. Whatever seems to be easier, I don't know. Alright, so there is a path over to the right there. And when we're over there, like I'll show you the way we can go that gets us to that point. There's a lot of big loops here. And all of these battles go the same way too, so we'll cut them out as well. If you're interested, they do drop rainbow diamonds or star rubies, so there's that. Okay, so just note there's a treasure chest up there and a ladder here. We'll come back to there by going around the other side of it, just because it makes more sense to do it that way, at least in my opinion. One thing you can do if you don't want to gain too many levels, I don't know why you wouldn't, you're going to want to get to near max anyway, if you plan to do the bonus dungeons anyway. If not, then I guess it doesn't really matter. I did mention this a little while ago, that once we got to... Stop that! Do I really need to edit that out, or can I just hold the fast forward button and end the battle in seconds? I don't know. I mentioned before that we'd be able to get one, and there's our Marvel Sword if you're particularly interested in being able to find one. They fall down fast. I'll edit those first few out and leave the rest of them in, and You guys tell me. Though by the time we get around to putting this video up, I don't know. Oh, we learned something. We learned, I believe it's Hawk Scream Blast. Specialty. We have Crescent Moon Flash, which he isn't using a lot of. Hawk Scream Blast I remember being somewhat decent. And yeah, he doesn't have anything else particularly valuable right now. I took all your extra ones off because I want you to just use Hurricane Slash because it's actually decent. Where's Presses? Still hasn't learned anything new yet, unfortunately. Once Ashen hits level 66, I'll be able to learn a couple of good techniques. Okay, so you could go up here if you wanted to. We're going to skip that for now. Just note that that's there for later. A Blackberry. Kind of a small item to get at this point. Playing on an emulator makes recording a lot easier if you aren't... If you didn't kind of clue into it. But yeah, there's not a whole lot to most of the fights, so... If you want to run into less enemies, like I was saying, there is a way of doing that. I will show it off here in a moment. I'm just going to position Reina in the way and hit the fast forward button. I win! Rainbow Diamonds! Woo! But yeah, if you want to, if you go to Specialties and you go to Scout, you can look for enemies or you can run from enemies, if you so desire. I usually leave it off. I find that if I have it on run from enemies for most of the game, it seems to do the opposite, and so I end up turning it off by then anyway. It doesn't really matter. So yeah, we want to take out all of those little abominable snowmen guys. So here, this one, battle. Get paralysis checks from them. Cool. Okay, so let's go down here a little bit. This is the treasure chest that I was talking about before, that we said we'd come back for. Let's grab it. It's a Rune Full Moon. Fast forward back up there. And then we'll continue going this way. We want to go down first at the little fork there. And there it is, the Bloody Armor. I will go into the specifics of the Bloody Armor and the trick involved therein later, because it's entirely unnecessary at this point in the game. But at least that's one way of getting it, is one of the enemies around here does drop it, so you can grab that if you really want to. If you go all the way over here, we can fight another one of those guys. We learned Bloody Mary. I guess Presses wants to drink. Fast forward. You stand there. Fast forward through that. Fast forward through that. There isn't anything else over here. There is a save point. There we go. I don't know. That's all I'm going to do if I do the battles off screen. So I think if I do them off screen, I'm cutting out 5 seconds or less all the time. So this is that other side there. We went into the cave to the far right, and we then cut back and went into the cave on the left. So you have an idea of where we are. Probably a good idea to save at some point during our treks through here, even though the enemies aren't particularly dangerous. There we go. Oh, one thing you will want to check is keep an eye on your SP, as I was saying. I'm going to be using my points, like I said, on below the belt, which doesn't actually consume all that many points at this point, so we have access to a whole lot of them. What that does is it ignores the enemy's defenses, so having that higher leveled is probably a good thing at this point. We could up some of these other ones, but the next thing I want to work on is effort for pretty much everyone, because we're going to want to start gaining a whole whack ton of levels relatively soon. With Reina, we've already maxed out Motormouth, so that's fine there. The next thing you may want to work on for her is maybe Fairyology, just to give her some more intelligence, or max out Mineralogy if you haven't done so yet either, just because it gives her a little more intellect stat, and that's of course going to be helpful for her. Yeah, that's probably pretty good there. Put a few points into that just so that she's not too high. Actually, we'll just max it out. It's not that hard. Now she's around the same point as everyone else. And we can head back the way we came. Now, I believe the bloody gear is reproducible, so you might be able to copy that. If not, I'll have to look into how to item create
They
them.
seem tough.
Because you can item create them. Someone's been mentioning in the comments about how he's been doing that on disc 1 all the time.
Hawk Scream Blast. Hawk Scream Blast.
Yeah, there's Hawk Scream Blast, if you were wondering. It can be hit from up close or at a range. It's also a ranged attack, so it's particularly useful that way if you so happen to need a ranged attack. Win. Alright, so if we continue... Would you stop running into so many battles? Ooh, a purple mist. We've had that since disc 1, the beginning of the game. So many battles. Chaos Mail. That's another item you can get around here. That one there's no trick to, so I'll just show that one off in a moment here. We'll just head up here first. We'll still cut a few of them out. Why not? And if we head up here, then we can grab another treasure chest. Question mark guard. And we'll head over here, take on this dude. And after doing that, we can head over here. There's a doorway, of some sorts anyway. An opening in the cave. Now this will lead down. Let's just show this off real quick. There's nothing over here anymore, but yeah, here's the ladder that I was mentioning before. Just fast forward down there. That was the one that we had access to before. We skipped over that one and went over to the right. So I'm just going to backtrack over to the right so I can cut out a whole bunch of battles on the way. Okay, we're back, and I just took care of all 5 of those battles on the way back. Yeah, that's how insane the encounter rate is around here. Just way too many battles. So, anyway, that's pretty much all we have time to progress through today. Fast forward. So I've been kind of alternating a little bit between fast forwarding through the fights and just cutting them out altogether. Let me know what you guys think about it in areas where there are huge amounts of battles, because there are a lot of areas where we're going to just run into way too many enemies. Not only in this game, but in other games as well. As you can see, we were already maxing out our damage. At this point in the game, the mages have lost all of their usefulness because we can hit so many more times per second than it takes to build up to cast a spell, which is going to make the dungeon I have to do with 2 mages three mages including Reyna, very difficult, which is why I decided to save it for the shortest of all of the dungeons. And here, God, the encounter rate is ridiculous. No, I don't want to go up that ladder first. I want to go up this ladder first. Fast forward. Fast forward. And fast forward. I can fast forward through the whole game at this point. Okay, so got that one. It's an Atlas ring. We don't need that. I will take the other ladder, and I will see you down there in a moment. Okay, so I just took the other ladder there to the left this time. Fast forward through another battle.
I'm so happy!
Let's just double check our skill points at this point. I don't think I'm too close, but close enough. We should probably do something with it. I'll be investing that into effort when we get around to it. Fast forward up there. One more battle. Okay then. The armor that I wanted to show off was the Chaos Armor. Almost invincible armor prized for strong protective power, sucks out the wearer's energy. I'm not sure exactly what that does, but it reduces your elemental protection, and it's weak. So no, we don't want to use that one. I'll go into the bloody armor and even the bloody helm at a later date once we actually have use of it. But just know that you can find the drop from some of the soldier enemies in the Field of Power, as well as on the world map and in the final quote-unquote tower later on in the game. So anyway, that's pretty much all the time we have for today. I ran a little long just so I could get to the save point and make things a little more straightforward in the next episode. And yeah, that's all for this one, and we'll see you guys next time.